tonight because, I plan to release a major article tomorrow. I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to stop holding back when it comes down to these people because they pulling all the stops as I get my blessings back, my timelines, and all of that. Anyways, this is turning out to be anything other than a regular curse. The other day, me and my ancestors were able to procure something about, what is it, David Rayner, aka, what's that boy's name? Uh, Ethan Occala. We saw in the astral plane that he works at a 171342 something or 42 Lichten Street. Now in the physical, it was showing me 171425 or something Allegra Street, and I got Google. Then I was shown social experiment. What I'm uncovering about these people goes really, really deep about what's happening to me. This is just no ordinary ass curse. I've been telling dumb motherfuckers about that from the start, from the beginning. Now this is gonna sound mad fucking weird, so just pull up, strap yourself up so shit don't seem too motherfucking weird. You have to have your intelligence about you, wits, your cosmic intelligence, your connection to the divine source, to God. Develop a tight relationship with you, God, Jesus, Buddha, all those good people, great gurus, all of them. Because this goes deep. Anyways, I woke up in the middle of the night. So I had the little roach attachments and all of that, and an energy vampire that was placed in the back where my subconscious should be. I did some research, and so I saw that Nicholas Bearden was a remote viewer as well as an investment banker. That's why he has a big ass 2-story house in Malibu. But from what I understand, he drives a white Chrysler. And that's why these curses that they install on people are hard to remove. Now, to make a long story short, because it's going to jive into what I'm about to talk about, I saw in the astral plane and found out that some of the people who plan on taking my blessings is Zendaya. She been had them. From what I understand, she got supposedly consent from God. I don't know. I hope not. I hope this is not destiny or fate.
Introducing the Filter Sorb Whole House Water Conditioner. A complete home.
Come on, man. Come on.
Water
Turn the
filtration
fuck off. I'm not gonna hear this shit. This is important what I got to fucking say. Trust me when I say it's mad fucking important. The thing about God, I'm gonna go ahead and explain to you exactly what's going on because it runs deep with this shit that they put on it. So, anyways, with that being said, I found out in the middle of the night that he does remote viewing. And I also saw for your boy who works at in the astral plane, what is Ethan Occala, Ethan Apperwhite, like that cult leader back in the 90s, who works at 171342 or 7 Lichten Street, which translates to Allegra Street. It comes out to Google in the physical plane. I saw, in conjunction with lawyer, I saw laser pointer. And I kept seeing that and hearing that from the spirits the other day. Like, what the fuck is a laser pointer? So when I was shown astrally what a laser pointer is, it showed me that a laser pointer is somebody who works for the government, who finds a person, a target to hit, and then destroy them and ruin them. And that's exactly what a laser pointer is. That's what a laser pointer does. A laser pointer who works for the state. So I happen to be one of his targets, of a CIA operation. Now I'm going to go outside for a little bit. Well, I don't think I should. I think I got spiritual protection in here, so let me stay my black ass in here. Remember years ago I used to do YouTube videos, and I would in many ways attract the attention of the state. I used to be a cop watcher back in the day, blah, 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 blah. What I'm about to tell you goes really motherfucking deep. So, anyways, with that being said, I kept hearing in the astral plane, and I kept seeing as well that I got the attention of the Occalas due to a video that I did. You know, some video they ain't like, in which I was talking mad shit about white folk. You know, that was some Okatom nigger. I'm not on that shit. But turns out all three of these people that I'm dealing with are like CIA level motherfuckers. But they can't touch me on many fronts. You know, I'm not going to say what, but they can't touch me because God's watching. I have strong spiritual protection. I'm just going to say that. And I didn't even know it. I just thought this shit was just. Now, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and explain to you how all this shit works and breaks motherfucking down. I'm going to show you something. Right when I did an article or video, I got a call from somebody called Fatal Leader. I did not answer it. Someone was telling my black ass at the time, don't answer that. That's some bitch, from what I understand. From what I understand, that's an automaton. That's some type of. Her real name is Beatrice Sky. But I believe it's some type of robotic entity. You know, one thing I heard through the course of this curse is that it was actually robotic entities that created our unityverse, our universe. Not going to go into too much detail about it, but it goes back to the days of the ancient, what they call that, ancient Samaria, Egypt, all of them. So, anyways, let me not go ahead and ruminate on that. This knowledge I possess because of this curse goes deep. It's like I say before, Illuminati level. Now, let me tell you how I figure into all of this. From what I'm being told, I got, you know, along with great blessings, great spiritual powers and abilities. I heard this at the beginning of this curse, you know, from a guy who looked like Isaac Marazi. Um, his higher self looked like a leprechaun. With that being said, you know, he was telling me, you know, when you have great spiritual powers and abilities in this particular plane of existence, it's like smuggling diamonds on an airplane. Be very careful. Watch yourself. Now, he was one of the many celebrities whom my spirit guide, one of my spirit guides, was showing me that I'm connected to in the astral plane. They were showing me that I was connected to three homes, and I saw Madonna, I saw Isaac Marazi, and I saw Tim Burton. And I've actually encountered their higher selves, including all the way up to their highest, along with their roach attachments. From what I understand, Tim Burton was interested. He signed a soul contract with these people, I believe, or with Satan, or specifically, to cultivate my consciousness. Is Agmarazi blessings and spiritual powers? Same thing with Madonna, consciousness, spiritual powers, and blessings. Many of the people that you see in Hollywood are major energy vampires on an epic scale, because what I'm about to tell you goes deep. Now, for the past couple of days, and actually I witnessed it as well. Now, remember, let me go ahead and preface this by saying, remember how I talked about how what I wanted to say. Going back to the time that I supposedly, okay, remember how I kept saying that on August 22nd, 2022, I died in my sleep. I actually saw my astral body being pulled out of my body. And I was told that I died in my sleep. And, you know, all of this hoopla, and that a girl replaced my body, which I never quite experienced. What I'm now realizing is, see, in the astral plane, we all have motherboards that our bodies are on and that we're connected to. My consciousness, this is what I believe, I don't know how true this is, was placed in the roach realm. I actually experienced it one day when I rose up and just put my consciousness in the regular realm. When you're in the roach realm, you constantly have your blessings and spiritual powers taken and fleeced from you constantly and incessantly, along with the fact that timelines aren't stable. You know, things go by very, very differently. Baron Samedi was the first one to put me in that realm, but it didn't feel like it. I have a whooping car because of this fucking evil ass curse. As a matter of fact, from what I heard, you know, I was told that Baron Samedi knew them motherfuckers are the type to fucking kill people. Didn't like when you first saw them. Now, with that being said, going into greater detail, um, merely went into the regular realm, which is where your regular timelines are at. And all of a sudden, Barbara Rayner, aka Nene Occala, acting as my higher self, just whooshed my ass right on out. I'm like, bitch, how the fuck can you have control over my consciousness? What I'm about to talk about is CIA level shit. You want to see how, like, all this shit is just this weird shit that I'm fucking involved in somehow mysteriously that I'm tied into inadvertently is just fucking crazy. With that being said, with that being said, I was shown that a bunch of these celebrities, okay, I was doing something one day. I was doing spiritual work, you know, trying to get down to the nitty gritty of the situation. And so this goes deep. Let me. I don't know what to make of it. All throughout this curse, I kept hearing Zendaya. I'm just going to say that. I kept hearing Zendaya, Zendaya, Zendaya. And one day, I remember when I said something, next thing I know, she was acting as that Rosie person. You know, remember I was saying that somebody replaced my body on August 22nd, 2022. They do that all the time in Hollywood. They did it to, what was that man's name? Kanye West. They did it to a couple of people. Eminem, it's obvious. You can see that those are clones and that their eyes are soulless. I don't think that Kanye West was cloned. That he just got removed out of his body. They're trying to kind of like do the same thing to me. From what I'm understanding, spirit world, it goes really, really deep. And divest me of my spiritual powers and abilities and give it to all of these people. With that being said, I say something, and next thing I know, the entity acting as Rosie, when I mentioned Zendaya's name, said, "Oh shit, I got found out." And I know this has started affecting my spirit team and all of that in a weird way. Like I said before, they place roach attachments in you. That's designed to act as your spirit guides and spirit team. Alright, so anyways, with that being said, she made the comment, "Oh shit, I've been found out." Now, just recently, I came upon the discovery of her, you know, being involved in this. And next thing I know, I'm just gonna say there were changes in my spirit teammates. There were changes in me made spiritually. It was weird. I should say shit. So, anyways, with that being said, these things plan on fucking with my consciousness to the point where I don't have any consciousness anymore. With that being said, like I said before, they do something where they have your higher self sign a soul contract and they become your higher self. Now, with that being said, on my motherboard, I didn't see this. I don't know what to make sense of anymore. Because I remember before in the past, when I was able to get a lot of my consciousness back, this is going to sound like sci-fi shit here. I got to the end where, like, if you've seen those old suits that people used to use back in the day when they were swimming, and going deep diving, I came across something that looked like that. And from what I understand, the timeline where I supposedly died on August 22nd, 2022, they had like a little net iron casting. This whole fucking thing is weird. I'm just gonna say that I remember I kept hearing Zendaya all throughout this. I'm not going to sound like the most sane fucking person when I talk about it. That's why I'm prefacing everything by saying I'm not going to sound sane. I'm just trying to think about it. This is fucked up. Oh, God, inadvertently fucking brought into. I don't deserve this shit at all. This is just crazy and insane. It's something rapping. Black and black. With that being said, this is not just like regular dealing with evil ass spirits. This is some CIA type shit that we dealing with. I remember feeling in my motherboard coming across her soul matrix or some shit like that. At first it was me, and then it became her. And we saw like a mask of her face superimposed on my astral body. Like I said, I kept hearing her. Now, here's the most important thing. They're trying to, it's pretty much gotten down to where they're trying to kill me in my sleep. And they're trying to reduce my consciousness to nothing, wipe it clean so that I can't do videos like this. I can't talk about them. I can't get on YouTube anymore, none of that. Erase me from existence. From what I'm understanding, I had a person. There was somebody in the astral plane who noticed that, okay, let me preface this by saying that earlier when I went into the astral plane, largely in my consciousness, procure my blessings back, I saw one of the timelines where I had my shit stolen largely. It was funneled to Timothy Chalamet. I believe he lived on my old block back in Miracle Mile. I don't know. But he's one of the people who got my blessings funneled towards him by David Rayner, aka, what is it, Ethan Apperwhite, Ethan Occala. As soon as me, my family, my spirit guides tried to get back in, he said, I thought you were dead. His higher self, and then locked us out of my timeline. And so eventually we were able to get into a timeline. Now, with that being said, there was a person who came forward and said that somebody in the astral plane, somebody I knew, years ago, and they say, I noticed that there's government buildings right by and right in the timelines, especially on the consciousness of Zendaya and Timothy Chalamet. And they saw a specific medical building. I don't want to go into detail about it. Edelman, I believe. All right, I don't want to go into detail as to what it is, but it's a very shit, my eyes got light like a motherfucker. This is disgusting. All right, so it was a government building. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's a psychiatric building. I'm just going to say that. I heard from this friend, this person who I knew you going years back, say anytime you see a government building constructed in a person's, not just their timeline, but points of where their consciousness is, that's a sign of the person being involved in something significant with the government. I was shown that it was social experiment. They were meant to be part of a social experiment, social engineering specifically. Social engineering. I'm not lying to you when I say that. Now, from what I'm understanding, this is gonna sound fucking weird. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm just telling you what I've astrally been shown. So hold up your seat, get your shit ready, because this is gonna be deep. This is some I did not ask for this shit. My black ass, them niggas were about to put me in fucking homeless shelters for the rest of my life. Some fucking All right, this is about to run deep. All right, so anyways, I was told that in the astral plane, there was four major people were lining up, waiting to energy harvest my astral body, consciousness, all of that, especially Tim Burton, along with my spiritual blessings, powers, and abilities. Now, the thing with Zendaya, I'm a little bit confused about her. I kept seeing her mom, supposedly in the astral plane, defending her and defending her blessings. Now, I'm going to say this right now. She looks a lot like the fatal leader entity that was in charge. Now, I started hearing that supposedly Zendaya, right before she rose to meteoric fame, died in her sleep. She and Timothy Chalamet, Mason. It's a funny fucking name. That's an ugly ass motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? You know he had to have stolen somebody's shit. I'm sorry. That's an ugly motherfucker. He looked like the fucking, the ampersand man. What's that man? That comedy shit. Look like this motherfucker. Some Newman. He looked like Newman some. So anyways, from what I heard, from what I was told, he wanted to all right, I feel drained as a motherfucker because of what happened in the astral plane last night with me and my consciousnesses. So, anyways, I'm starting to put everything together. And like I said, all throughout this, I kept hearing about Zendaya, Zendaya, Zendaya. And so, this is going to sound like the realm of science fiction, but all right, like I was saying before, this is going to sound like the realm of science fiction. But I kept hearing about Zendaya needing my soul matrix or some shit like that, some weird shit, and needing my consciousness and a bunch of other things. And it sounded like some type of weird astral body harvesting is going on between me and all of these people. It's very, very strange. And, for those who ain't under this shit, I would welcome you to explore and see what's going on, for me, because I can't make sense of it. From what I'm understanding, this is the whole gist of it. She got visited by the Occalas in the astroscape, offering her somebody's blessings in exchange for a soul contract. Then she came to them in person and signed a soul contract with them. And from what I'm understanding, she took my blessings, sacrificed my parents or something like that, and supposedly sacrificed hers. That's not supposed to be her parents in her body. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm still trying to make sense of it. Like I say, my consciousness is frayed and fucked up. And I've been trying to make sense of what the fuck is going on. And I just don't know. I have no idea, no clue. All I know is that with these people, they inserted themselves, through the soul contract and through compromising the bloodline of your consciousness, your main consciousness. They insert themselves as your higher selves. And so for a hot minute, I had this one entity attached with this woman who looks a lot like the entity they call Fatal Leader. Who looks a lot like the entity called Fatal Leader. So to make a long story short, it's the entity that erases your memories, but it's also the entity that's been acting like her mother. They keep calling it Rosie's mother or something. That's Rosie's mother. Like I said, I can't make sense of it. They do a lot of shading fraud that's way too technical and highly advanced to be a simple curse. Um, I kept hearing about how Rosie, Madonna, and all of these people wanted my baby consciousness, which had gotten stolen in the astroscape last night. How they wanted my blessings, spiritual powers and abilities, which got funneled to them in a very weird way. They put them through a wash in your body, I believe in the back of your subconscious. There was a video that I did in which I talked about where hell really is. It's in the subconscious area, and without going into detail, these people worship something that's not too far from home. It's the primordial darkness, which is what your subconsciousness is made up of. That's connected to the reincarnation matrix trap or cycle in the astral plane. They call it the wash and dryer. When they need to build new consciousnesses, when they need to, do this and do that and build somebody up. They set you up to be placed in the wash and the dryer. Um, they put you through that process to erase your memories also. Like when the CIA does things to eradicate your memories and so forth. I'm trying to fucking get what the fuck I'm dealing with. And I can't make sense of it no way, no how. Um, from what I'm seeing in the astroscape, they have been funneling, my stuff, my astral stuff, spiritual powers and all of that, to people out there in Topanga Canyon Village in Malibu, which is where I got ran off in 2022, is actually where they put that shit on me at, right out there. And like I said, I can't make sense of it. I can't make sense of it. It just seems, they put them in your consciousness as roach attachments, these people. And they have them energy harvest off of you like crazy and take all your stuff. And I remember, the many times in which I tried to get back into my own timeline, my own consciousness, I got ran out and told, that's not yours. That's not yours anymore. You can't have that. I keep hearing about robbing the grave. I don't know if that Rosie story is fiction, created to mask the fact that they funneled my blessings and spiritual powers and stuff to celebrities who paid them for it in exchange. Their higher selves along with their lower selves. Another one is Timothy Chalamet. Like I was saying before, when I tried to get back in one timeline, he said, I thought you were dead. And I keep hearing various spirits talking about, I'm wandering the room that I used to occupy at that shelter, wondering what happened to my physical body. They're intimidating me right now by trying to shut down my consciousness in the astral plane. I can feel it and hear it. Like I said, I can't make sense of it. I can't make sense of what's going on. It just seems way too fucking advanced. I know that one of the goals of the Occalas is to have me end up in a mental ward or mental hospital, babbling, talking to myself, and they're pissed off, heavily pissed off, that it hasn't come to that conclusion. That's because, in large part, I've had a lot of spiritual protection come my way. Thank you so much for the spiritual protection. Like I say, this is fucking evil and sadistic, and I can't make sense of it. What the fuck is going on? Because my own head, my own consciousness is compromised, so I just don't know. Not my sanity, but my consciousness. Um, When I was able to get back into them timelines yesterday, no consciousness, soul area, soul consciousness, I had their higher selves come and try to push me out, and I figured out ways to try to get rid of these fucking people so I can have my blessings, have my spiritual powers back, and so forth and so on. But they seem to keep, especially what they codename Chief Thunder, Nicholas Beerland, they just seem hell bent on energy harvesting really, really fucking bad. And playing games, but really, really severe games that drive you ass schizophrenic. Like I say, you feel shit pulling you from the walls, pulling and grabbing at your consciousness. You feel different the next day. Your consciousness ain't there as usual. I nearly had that happen one time. Being ran through washes and dryers, they're doing the same thing to my family. From what I understand, they want to energy harvest off of my bloodline and my family as well. I've heard discussions about me reincarnating to Rothschilds, to like Illuminati fucking families and all of that shit because of my abilities. I know this sounds fucking crazy and it sounds conspiratorial, but trust me, it's true. But I'm going to say this. I want to mention, while I was in jail when this curse first occurred, I remember seeing Rosie in the astral plane. From what I understand, it was supposed to be the soul piece, the spiritual side soul piece of a girl who died in Louisiana from this curse. The Dester had, supposedly a big old fat white girl. And I remember her running past me wearing the sacrificial angel gear and saying to me that we all have to sacrifice ourselves at some time, and I was supposed to be the sacrifice. And I kept hearing that all throughout. And I remember seeing Rosie and her family writing a soul contract with the Rainers, the Occalas, to get out of a hell realm, supposedly. Her ancestors. And they were planning on getting me while in my sleep on August 22nd, 2022. Like I say, there's truth to that because I remember the next day, that night, somebody slapping someone else's ancestral timelines on the back of my body. And then I remember I went to the liquor store and I was told by the guy there, he said, I got a call from somebody who sounded exactly like you through static saying I need help. And that's oftentimes the sign of a ghost. When you hear somebody speaking through static. From what I was told, I was at first place in the jar. Then I was able to pull myself out, then pull myself back into the physical world. I know this sounds outlandish, but trust me, it's true. But I kept hearing some just removed a piece of my consciousness so I can't talk. Like, I don't get how these roach attachments can fucking operate the way they do. Constantly and incessantly, there's something going on with them. But getting back to Zendaya, I tried to use my third eye, my fractured third eye, to see exactly what's going on. Like I said, I can't make sense of it. And I kept hearing that her higher self is a demon. which makes me think she was stuck in the hell realm. And then I keep hearing that the higher self is he kid or something like that. I kept hearing the same thing about the Rosie person. I heard supposedly she's no longer in her body, which is where the whole government building thing comes into play. They saw them coming from a government building, a psychiatric government building. And from what I'm understanding, they usually put people through that so that they can't get back in their bodies or something. Whenever you see that, whenever you see that, that means social engineering, mind control, MK Ultra, all of that. It's just, and I planned to do an article about it, and I was getting harassed bad yesterday, really, really, really bad. I'm trying to make sense of it, but I keep getting blocked in the astral plane from seeing. I keep hearing that she died in her sleep supposedly, and she needed this from me and that, like fucking energy, organ harvesting. I heard that she sacrificed her parents in conjunction so she could have those blessings that I was supposed to be getting and all of that, and I've actually seen what it was supposed to be. It's really, really fucked up. Like I said before, I can't make sense of it. From what I saw, Dooley, she, whoever it is supposed to be sitting pretty while I'm constantly getting raped physically by astral entities of my spiritual powers and abilities, not to mention by people who I guess signed up to steal my spiritual powers and abilities as well and drain me of it. I never consented to this shit. The Occalas even came to me in the astral scape to ask me for a soul contract, and I say, fuck out of here. So they have no right to be doing this shit to me. Because they came to me the physical through astral projection. Like I said, I can't make sense of it. Let me try to wrap this up. I will say this. I noticed that when I was working with a very powerful spirit guide at the time, I found a lot of my stuff. He found actually a lot of my stuff, my blessings and all of that with Zendaya. I keep hearing it was something crucial that totally fled my mind that I wanted to talk about. Because this is just too fucking weird. I heard that Kid is supposedly her goddess that's over her higher self. I don't know. I saw some weird shit with Madonna as well. Just trying to make sense of what the fuck is going on. But it seems like they hell bent to keep me from entering that original timeline. Like in a really, really bad way. I keep getting conflicting stories that it's some girl who died in Desperado, Louisiana who's occupying my body. It's a roach attachment. I keep getting different reports. I don't know how to make sense of it. They say that I've been disconnected from that body. They took my consciousness and every fucking thing, which they can do. I know you hear me speaking, talking with you and all of that, and being very, very articulate, but, they could take pieces of your consciousness. They look like circular concrete things in the astral plane. This is weird. This is very weird. Like I said, I just I'm just gonna say this. This is nowhere near curse. I'm gonna say this. I know that when I was trying to get my shit back, at one point I felt her soul matrix come into my body. I just don't know. And I keep hearing them say that that timeline where I died in my sleep and all of that is a parallel timeline now. It's gone from being a timeline in my head into somebody else's. So I mean, and I know these people are hell bent on fucking with my consciousness to keep me as far away from getting my shit as possible. Like I said, I can't make sense of what I'm fucking dealing with.
Hello?
Like I said, it just seems like, at one point, just trying to think of more to talk about because this isn't regular. This is weird. Remember, my motherboard, her soul matrix was there, but at first it was mine. It just with a mask of her superimposed. I don't know what the. Again, I just try to make sense of it what I'm dealing with. In the astroscape last night, I saw Nicholas Bearden. It seems to me like they protecting. Like I said, I can't make sense of it. Like they protecting clients, but it just seems like my shit is compromised like a motherfucker. I'm just gonna say it like this: through some hyper advanced astral technology, They have my consciousness stuck in hell realms. I'm being told that I never woke up back into my original body on August 22nd, 2022. And I've had some confirmation of it. You know, I saw what appeared to be maybe perhaps my whole soul sticking out. They're saying my whole soul consciousness. They're saying, I mean, my whole soul. But looked like a soul piece that was sticking out and being energy harvested off of. I don't know. It just seems so far-fetched. I know. I've heard that these, supposedly they signed soul contracts with these people. I don't know. But I know I'm being fucked with royalty. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I just looked at something through my third eye just now, and I don't know what the fuck is going on.